Welcome back, dear YouTube viewers. We are finally reaching the awaited green and red version of the Steel and Emerge deck, and I think this is going, or at least should work pretty nice because green offers the best synergies with the Emerge creatures in the hands of the Fall Emissary, but we are going to take advantage of cards like Act of Treasons to steal enemy creatures, and cards like Eldritch Evolution to use the stolen creatures to do something with reduced mana costs. And so for the available green flavored emerge creatures, we have Eat of the Horrid Swarm, brings two 1/1 tokens alongside when we cast it, and the Mockery of Nature lets us destroy target artifact or enchantment, quite relevant in many cases. And the most powerful card for the emerge mechanic is the Decimator of Provinces, because this has triple haste and gives every other creature +2/+2 on trample during a turn. Therefore, this one is pretty powerful in comparison. Now we are also adding a few of the nice red and green combos and synergies from beyond. Spawns 1/1 tokens that can be used to get extra mana if we want to, and also not so useful in most of the decks, but here I think that we might end up using the ability to search for an Eldrazi card from the deck. Then all of the emerge creatures belong to that category, so we might end up using that, but a single copy because the space in the deck is too tight. We have 2 copies of Flame Shadow Conjuring. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 1 red and put a token that it's a copy of the creature. Therefore, this is a nice way to duplicate the value of all our creatures. The token gets exiled at the beginning of the next end step, so we do not get to keep the token, but there are some interesting ways to use those tokens. For instance, Evolutionary Leap can be used to, by paying 1 green, we get to sacrifice a creature and find the following one, and then the typical red and green early game with Blisterport, Primal Druid from the Eldritch Moon, supposedly going to help us getting our lands. Let's hope that works. Also can make us stay alive, and a few of the powerful Merled creature in the form of Hunger Garrison that spawns tokens and melts into the within township. Nissa, because it's one of the most powerful green cards that there are, can become Nissa Sage enemies, also helping us getting forests. And well, I think that's the situation of the current deck version, but I'm not sure if this is going to work as I expected. Going the Wake might ramp up a little bit. So let's go ahead and try to find ourselves some match and see how this one performs. I think the weak point is that we are going to be relying on the opponent having expensive creatures that we can steal and then emerge. That line of play is quite expensive in terms of mana, but green happens to let us ramp up quite nicely. So let's see if that works. And so for starters, we get 2 emerge creatures, 1 green in their wake, and 1 colorless and 1 evolving wilds. I think this might be a keep, so we might even draw an untapped land that is going to let us play Blisterport. perhaps if we draw a forest. Otherwise, we can play the Golden Wilds to get a forest, turn to ruin either their wake or Blister Pot plus Hunger Battlement, and turn to the Nissa. Let's see, the opponent playing equipments and white, therefore this might be a deck about humans, most likely. So we have an untapped mountain to play, so let's stick to our forest plan. So let's wait, there is no point into searching the forest node other than the game breaking and not letting us search for the forest. So top on Free Blade, 2-2 with Vigilance and Renown 1. Let's get a forest. So let's see. So in terms of lands, I think we're doing fine just now. Therefore, I think it's in our best interest to cast the Blister Pot just now and go ahead and see what the opponent does. Sorry. Even if we lose the Blister Pot, we get one token to generate mana, so it's not actually bad for us. That might bring us closer to cast our expensive creatures. The opponent did not equip this card, so he might have a 2-drop he wants to play, he or she, we don't know. So it's the name Gandalf the Greyish. So we prevented the Renown, so she did not get the +1/+1 counter, and now it's equipped. Now this is looking interesting, but I think it's too risky to drop this just now. Therefore, what I'm going to do is to lure the removal cards with Nissa. So if the opponent is running something to kill Nissa, it's better that it goes towards Nissa instead of towards the Hamburg Garrison that we might later on flip, or I mean meld into the within township. We have to use the battlements. So the opponent now gets another creature and finds planes that he puts in the battlefield, and apparently he doesn't have another. So here we could try to kill, but if we get our stealing cards, I think it's much better to just take the damage. So this now is Renown, so it's 4. Another land. So opponent couldn't kill Nissa or didn't want to. And 3 lands. Let's risk it. Or yeah. Well, we are not going to be attacking with the Hungry Warzone, so we might as well just ruin in their wake. So we stop drawing at this. Well, there is going to be 1 less land in the library. There we go. We could sacrifice the Scion to play the Garrison, but since we are not going to attack just yet with the Hungry Garrison, I think it's better to save that play for later. So we have enough lands to flip Nissa, just it's a matter of time, provided the opponent is not killing us before. So the opponent spreads the power. Now he's going to tap the token, and if we choose to, we could block damage and prevent something, but I think Nissa should be stunned there where she is. Uh, we could mockery of nature to destroy the grasp of the Hieromancer, and now we have a second garrison. Kind of interesting here. Mm, So what I'm going to do is to delay a little bit the place. So this turn it is one of them, and next turn maybe we can melt this one into the township. Trample haste. Not sure that's the wisest way to do, but we have the mana and we can afford to do that. So the opponent is going to attack. And let's see, it appears that the opponent cannot directly kill our creatures, or he might have Celestial Flare or something of the sort. So let's see what the opponent flips. He's tapping the token. So what to do now? Because I think it's a bit risky to go lower, but no, I think we're going to skip the block still. There we go. We are pretty low on health, and this deck does not have any gain life mechanic. Act of Treason, that's it. That's exactly what we wanted to have here. Now, so both guys are 2. Because Treason is 3, and we have 4 plus 2. So this is 5. Well, let me count properly. So 2. That means we have to pay 5 for this, and we have the token to do so. Therefore, we are going to steal the Topan Freeblade. And we proceed to attack with everything here. And the key card is actually the token to save mana for Mockery of Nature. Puncturing like is going to kill Nissa or Hunger. Okay, that's no problem. A hefty amount of damage goes to the opponent, and now we emerge out of the what? Now we have to emerge out of Nissa. Oh no! Miscalculation happens. Well, miscalculation happens. Then we lost Nissa, but we had to play this. Otherwise, we are dead to these 2 attackers. Opponent might even kill us, perhaps. Nimbus Wings is our finish. So now, even if we had the proper mana, or even if I had learned how to count, we still lose to the Nimbus Wings if the opponent plays on the 3/3, because we have no blockers for the flyers. And well, there we go. So nice hands, nice plays from our side, but not quick enough to stop the aggression from the other side. So I think that we are going to have to mulligan more aggressively to get earlier plays. We only had the blister pot this time, and Nissa did not match there. So let's go ahead and see what happens this time. Now let's patiently. So the opponent playing with tons of cards in the library. We have a nice looking hand, but without green mana, and I think it's too risky to keep a hand like this. So let's draw a new one. A bit better, not exactly optimal, but we at least get to play Nisa, therefore we get to 5 lands. We have a Act of Prison, so no, this became just really good now. So let's do the proper accounting here. If we are going to Act of Prison, we are going to spend 3 mana. That means that even with the merge cost, we need, this is 8, so we have to discount a lot for that to be a good play. So let's go with another forest here, and blue plus red. This appears to be a prowess deck that is going to be doing a lots of damage very soon, so we should try to prevent as much as possible. I don't know why the opponent has this Foundry of the Consoles. Maybe it's about artifacts. Now here, the question, I think I'm going to make this so even if the opponent plays a non-creature spell, this grows too high for us. So now this is 7, therefore we have to keep track of the numbers. This is 2, therefore if we steal this guy has a 2 mana discount. Now Timbolt kills Nissa, of course. That was part of my plan, actually, believe it or not. Yes, let's find ourselves in our forest. I think I'm going to attack here, because even if the opponent pumps up the Major Body, I do not want to spend the token there. So let's keep doing the calculations. 2 mana discount over 7 means that we have to pay 5. Now if we add 3 to that, that will be 8 total mana. We are at 4. So this is too little to help us doing our emerge, and this is smaller even. Goblin Balloon Brigade, a Goblin Warrior for 1 mana, and it can pay 1 to gain flying, so nothing too scary so far. But the deck of our opponent is not looking too consistent to me. So Primal Druid is actually quite good to stop the aggression that we are receiving, and we might even emerge this guy. So let's see, we currently have 5 with this, and 2 out to the discount of 2 out of the Primal Druid means that we get to 7, so we could emerge the Eats of the Hordes Farm, a 4/4 and 2 1/1s. Not that bad, but let's see if the opponent, this is forced to attack, so it's not giving any clue if the opponent is holding any instant or sorcery. If the opponent attacks with this, I think he's going to make this one flying. Another Rain Body and Grip of the Royal is going to tap my Primal Druid. So I think that the opponent did it for the search discount. Now let's, well, we could block still. Next turn we get 5. Not looking that horrible, actually. So let's prevent the damage. The opponent got to draw a card but has only 2 in hand. So let's see, this one is tapped, so it's not going to help us too much. Now we are going to Cinderblade and pass to the second mine phase just because, and we emerge the Primal Druid. When the Primal Druid dies, we get to search a basic land from our library, so we are going to search the wastes, that is the color that we are missing. So we have 6 land here. We can ruin in their wake and find another land to put in the battlefield. What is this deck? So other salvo killing it. I think this is a sort of search deck, because the opponent appears to be attempting to use the search cost of the cards. So let's see if he attacks. So 7. So he's not playing the Balloon Brigade, despite he being able to do so. Let's skip the blocking here. Now, this is 8, and the creatures that our opponent is playing are too cheap for our emerge plans. Therefore, we need more mana here. Let's run in their wake. And we get a mountain. That's okay. Yes. Do you want to put in the battlefield? Tap yes. Well, I think we could get that in our hand and play it. I think there was no point into doing that way. So now we have 7 mana over here. What's happening? The game appears to be syncing or something. No. So some internet connection issues, something strange. So finally we get to pass. Now if the opponent plays a land, he can attack with the Slide Runner. Instead plays Arsonist. He might have another search card. Now let's see. So this one flies. So fire impulse to kill one of these. So this become more powerful. Now taking 7 or 4, I think the choice is quite clear here. Let's go ahead with this. Now actually with a little problematic scenario here with only 7. Well, now we have 8. So but still not getting there, so this costs 9. So if we spend 3, we have 5 open. 5 plus 2 equals 7, and it's not enough for our guys. So and the opponent has 8 damage next turn. So is something that we can steal that saves us. Well, the opponent might just choose to not block, and even if the Goblin Arsonist dies, not too likely for this to happen. So let's see if the opponent decides to block. The chances are quite low for that to occur here. No. Well, there we go. So the deck is losing once again, but so let's see. Let's do one more attempt to do this again before we made any modifications. I think I'm going to change something because what I think here is that in the current state we kind of rely on the cards the opponent is playing to steal those, and if it happens that the opponent is playing two small creatures, we cannot pay all the costs. Therefore, we should try to add something to play sooner. So nice cards, but not enough lands. Let's draw another. This is not playable at all. And well, at least we have Rune in the Wake. So let's start with the Cinderblade. So not the best of the mulligans that we can desire, and it seems that the opponent is going for the red aggression once again. So I was going to play Ruin and Wake, but the Prime Injury is just better. Well, not entirely just better, but we get one creature out. So vampires with madness at the beginning of combat. This might discard a card to get more power. Not that bad actually. So here let's so we have only one red mana source. I think I'm going to go ahead to find another red. Just in case that we want to Flame Shadow Conjuring something powerful. And skip attack, of course, because doing 0 damage is not going to help anyone. So this might get trample. The opponent gets to choose if he wants to discard something, and a dangerous card might appear. The Stench Masquerade is one of the most problematic for us. So it was a Bloodmad Vampire. Now the Madness cards are actually going to help our plans because they have a high mana cost that the emerge cards are going to be looking at. So I think there's no, well, let's risk it. So we have nothing going on. So best case scenario, we draw into a creature that we can duplicate with the Flame Shadow Conjuring. So we need to have as many lands out there as possible. Another red, because Ruin in their Wake is not going to help anyone. So Act of Treason becoming quite nice if we get something to also sacrifice an opposing creature. So ideally we draw our Evolutionary Leap. Now I don't think the opponent is going to be able to remove our Flame Shadow Conjuring, but there's so much going on in our hand. The twins, yes please, 5 mana. It will be quite cool to get one of our merge creatures right now. Instead, it was an Act of Treason. So what to do? Well, this hand is not doing anything. Um, we die next turn. Well, just for the sake of playing our cards. Yes. So the opponent could kill us with the border state, therefore no point into doing anything. So we have to find something that lets us stabilize more in the early game. Let's see if we can tune this one quicker, very quick. So what can we do that is going to actually help us get more presence in the early game? So if we take a look at our crop, there is too many on the 3 spot, and perhaps we should add more into the 2 region. So let's see what is there that can be interesting to what we are trying to do. So none of these guys actually benefits for the act of treason. Perhaps the thermo alchemist, because this can block many things. So this is one viable choice. Let's see, because this lets us block quite a bit. Now let's see if we can find something. Now the death cultivator actually not couldn't be so bad to get the extra mana. On the worst case scenario, the opponent has to kill our death cultivator. Now the recruiter. Well, if this one flips, I think it is very interesting. So let's see, this one is also tempting to use, and let's see, the Elvish Visionary drawing an extra card, but we are not getting to the Evolutionary Leap. So what we would like to have is the ability to sacrifice our creatures. So let's just let me see. There were some of the red spells that require you sacrificing something. So Fiery Conclusion it was. Let's see, Fire Conclusion. As additional cost, sacrifice a creature and deal 5 to target creature. So we're filling some options for the 2 mana spot. We have to take away something from the 3. That I think this one is not going to be so helpful this time around. And let's leave the upper part of the deck as it is. And what else? Well, I think okay, let's put down one of the steel. So we only have 5 stealers. Now, what we want to have from our 2 recently added. This gives us a bit of mana, extra mana. This lets us find creatures or discount the creatures, but it's not so easy to activate this one. But I think this. Okay, let's try. I removed something that I didn't want to. I guess So let's add this guy here. So we have, let's put all the copies of the recruiter and fire conclusion. So this not doing us so good. So far it's not helping us that much. And what else? I think let's add another one of fire conclusion. No, just want another panel route because this is the way to ramp in our deck. And is there something else? This is a nice sacrifice outlet, but we can only use it once. Alright, let's keep it like this for the time being, and let's try again and see if the Dustwatch Recruiter is able to help us. Ideally, we flip the Dustwatch Recruiter just on time to discount our creatures, but I do not think that we get the emerge with discount. But maybe I do not believe that the emerge and the discount it shouldn't be working like that. So let's see. So Lobo. Lobo means wolf, and well, late game hand we play first. So let's go. Let's try to set up the aggressive and hope to draw something that we can use to get into the late game. So hopefully our Hamburg Garrison goes uncontested for a few little turns, and let's drop a Foundry of the Councils just to confuse our opponent. Now the reason to have this is just I think it's a nice colorless land, and in case of actual need we could use the activated ability to get 2 top thopters there. Now let's see if the opponent can deal with the Garrison spontaneous mutation. Well, this is going to make our creature weaker, but it's not going to prevent us from attacking. Then we can spam the 1/1 tokens. This guy costs 3, so not quite there yet. So let's just play our forest. Let's see if the opponent wants to attack here. Let's continue. So next turn we could Eldrazi Obligator and do something, attacking with everything. Also we can make this one unblockable. This is 4, right? So 4. So we are getting closer to what we want. So we are going to have 6 minus 3. We are left with 3. So we can pay up to 3 mana next turn. So let's just steal these full bloats, or what? Well, I'm speechless because why why is why is the computer doing this? Uh, this is so annoying. So I think that this might mean that we lose this game just because the computer chose to tap the boundary of the consoles. So we cannot pay the cost from the Eldrazi obligator, and I wasn't paying attention, and this is very painful to see our missed opportunity to steal one of the guys. So let's see now. Well, this one kind of cool. So the opponent might start having his tokens. So we are going to skip blocking. This one is 5. So we should pay 3 to Mockery of Nature or this other guy. So we are going to proceed to emerge. So Act of Treason, there we go. You are now ours. We are going to attack with all of our creatures. This is a ton of damage against the opponent using his very own creature, and now Mockery of Nature, and we get to destroy an enchantment. Yes. Now the downside of this is that now the opponent has 2 card types in the graveyard, but on the other hand we have a nice board. Let's see what the opponent tries to do now. He also is running a melee creature. With the scavengers he can fetch a creature from the graveyard. So let's see. We could Decimator of Provinces out of the Mockery of Nature, but I think that we can wait with that plan for the time being. So let's make this guy unblockable, so the opponent cannot kill him, and we proceed to attack with this guy. And well, what if we attack with this? The opponent could kill, but we get rid of 2, and he takes the tokens damage. Not so bad to lose the Mockery of Nature at this point in the game. So only blocks. So I think the opponent is trying to get more card types in the graveyard, but our damage is piling up. And if we play the Decimator of Provinces and the opponent is tapped out, I think that we finish this game. 5-4. So let's see what appears here. The full emissary. Not bad. We are kind of short on green to do Decimator of Provinces and the full emissary, because we need 3 greens to Decimator of Provinces. This adds +2/+2 on all our creatures and trample, and this one is also a 7/7 plus our 2 tokens. I think that's a ton of damage. What happens if we play? No, well, we could emerge the Eat of the Horrid Swarm instead. Prepare a nice follow-up turn or the Full Emissary too. Um, let's let's uh, let's make some juice here out of our game. Nothing to give to battle. Our Hunger Battlements were about to show up, but let's eat off the Horrid Swarm. And no, but uh, not enough mana, so we are just playing the Primal Druid here, and we are going to just attack the single Mockery of Nature, and I do not think that the opponent wants to trade. Well, he might. Actually, he already saw that we have the Horrid Swarm with us. He takes, no, he trades. So we are killing the Docent of Perfection and let the Scavengers alive. So maybe the opponent has the Rats somewhere, or maybe he can fetch his cards. So he's only missing one card type. Maybe he has a board swipe. We are losing the Hunger Garrison, not the end of the board, and now he has Delirium enabled. The Delirium is online, so but I think that the Scimitar of Provinces is too much. There we go. So we have too much damage going on, and this time the deck worked as we wanted to, but the latest edition actually did not much in this game. But alright, so sometimes the deck worked, well, at least once it did what we wanted it to do. So we are going to be trying again on the next video, but the Kaladesh expansion is going to be out for the next time, so the change is going to be changing quite a lot, but so far let's go for the time being, say goodbye and sayonara and all of that stuff. So stay tuned for our next edition. So let's take a look of the current mana curve, especially because I remember that I think that the 3 mana spike was slowing us too much, and in the last game the opponent playing huge creatures actually is good for us, so we have to take that into account for next time. So I hope you have enjoyed. Don't forget to leave any comments that you want, and until next time.